Hello everyone, welcome to an Upgrade Your OET session with Bose Learning. In this session we're going to be focusing on your OET Reading Part C, and in particular we're going to be looking at inference. That of course is a key skill to have, to be able to infer in actually your listening Part C and also your reading Part C. Before we go into that in a bit more detail, I'd just like to introduce myself. My name is Sona. I'm a premium preparation provider of the OET from Bose Learning. If you like these videos, please don't forget to click on that like button, share it with a friend or a colleague, and subscribe to us. Okay, so what do I mean by inference? Well, inference is the idea of reading between the lines, being able to infer an idea that the writer talks about in a not so obvious way. So the words say something, but you have to try and find out the meaning. The meaning goes a little bit beyond just the black and white words on the page. Let me give you a couple of examples from everyday life. If your friend comes round, after COVID restrictions have all eased, of course, and you're very excited to see your friend and you say, "I'll put the kettle on," what does that actually mean? Why are you telling your friend that you're going to put the kettle on when you're excited to see them? Well, certainly in the UK, it's a way of welcoming your friend. It's saying, "Come on in, sit down, make yourself at home. I'm going to put the kettle on so we can have some tea and really catch up, have a leisurely time, and find out what's been going on in each other's lives." So saying, "I'll put the kettle on," means welcome. Come in, make yourself at home. Let's talk. Let's catch up. Or another example for you, then there are two parents at home and one parent says to the other parent, "The baby's crying." What do they mean? They can both hear that the baby's crying, of course, so why is one parent stating the obvious to the other parent? What can you infer by this phrase? Well, of course, what they want is for the other parent to go and pick up the baby, to give the baby its feed, to play with the baby, to find out why the baby's crying. So when they say the baby's crying, they actually mean, please go and find out what's going on. Why is the baby crying? And that's the idea behind inference, reading between the lines, finding out what the author implies or suggests or means. And that's a question that might come up in the reading part C. They often say, "What does this phrase imply?" or "Why did the writer use this expression?" And then you have to use your skills of inference. In this session, we're going to be looking at 3 examples of how to do this, and we'll be using a text called Unlocking Skills in Hospitals, Better Jobs, More Care. You can see the URL I got it from on screen, and I'll also put the information into the information box below so you can go away and read the whole article. It's a good idea to do that. It will give you an overview of the whole text, which of course you'll get in the OET. I just want us to focus on 3 particular paragraphs. This is the first one. It doesn't take 15 years of training to provide light sedation for a stable patient having a simple procedure, or a 3-year degree to help someone bathe or eat. But that is the situation in Australian hospitals today. I've highlighted some key words that I think are useful for conveying the meaning of the text. This is the second paragraph we're going to look at. While these ideas are supported by successful trials and evidence, formidable barriers of culture, tradition, industrial relations, and vested interests stand in the way of change. Again, there are some highlighted words which convey meaning. And here's the third one. Current workforce roles were designed in the days of the horse and buggy. The choice to update them should be easy, because it means more and better care, more rewarding jobs for health professionals, and a more sustainable system. Okay, what we'll do next is look at each question connected to the passage. First of all, I'd like you to answer the question in your own words, and I'm going to give you 30 seconds to do that. Here's the first question. Why does the writer refer to the length of time training takes? Your 30 seconds starts now. Next, I want you to match your own answer with the best option available. There are 4, don't forget. 30 seconds to do that starts now. The answer here is C, to point out that some simple procedures can be learnt faster. It doesn't take 15 years. We don't need such a long period of training for simple procedures. You don't need a 3-year degree to help someone bathe or eat. You can learn that faster. So to stress that it's not long enough, A, is completely the opposite idea. To explain that it's a waste of everyone's time, well, no, it's not a waste of everyone's time. It's essential for certain jobs, which they haven't mentioned. But surgery, for example, I imagine takes a long time to learn. And to criticise the teaching methods, again, that's too strong. They're not really talking about teaching methods. All the author is saying, is pointing out, is that we don't need 3 years or 15 years to do some basic things. So it's a better idea to reform the system and see how we can make the best use of the skills available and train people in a shorter time to do the work that's necessary. Simple work that can be done with less training. Okay, let's move on to the next passage. Again, 30 seconds first of all to try and answer the question in your own words, and then another 30 seconds to match your answer with the options. Find the one that closest matches your own answer, and that should be the one that's correct. This time the answer is B. It's creating problems. So the writer is criticising traditional thinking on training. His ideas or her ideas are supported by successful trials. However, these trials, this evidence is being blocked. There are barriers put in place by the weight of culture, tradition, industry relations, so that's unions perhaps, and other vested interests. Other parties are standing in the way of change. So all of this traditional thinking is actually blocking progress. He's definitely not saying it should work well because these are barriers and they are formidable barriers. They're quite strong barriers to this progress. They're standing in the way. They are obstacles to change. He's not recommending that it's used across different departments. There's no indication of that, and nothing about it being famous worldwide. So the only possible option is B. Okay, final passage coming up, and the question again, answer it in your own words first, and then match it to the options given. Find the option which is most closely matched to your own way of answering the question. And the answer here is A. So the writer mentions this horse and buggy because it's an outdated picture. You can imagine in the olden days you have a horse and carriage, and that's how people used to be transported or transport goods. But it's an old, outdated case. It doesn't work in the modern times, whereas the current workforce roles were actually made in those times, so they're not fit for purpose, they're outdated. They might have been innovative when they were first created, but he doesn't mention that. The long established methods that work, well, actually, he's saying the opposite. They don't work right now, and they were adapted from farm work. Well, that's just wrong. Yes, he refers to a horse and buggy, but he's using it to paint a picture of how old-fashioned it is. Well, I really hope you found this useful. If you want to know more about our on-demand courses on Udemy, they're all pre-recorded, so you can watch them in your own time, you can rewind, you can go back over them, then take a look at the information box below because I've got some discount codes available for you. There's one for reading as well as speaking for doctors, nurses and pharmacists. Thank you very much for watching. Perhaps you've got time to watch one of our other videos now. I've recommended something that you might like, or maybe another time. If so, see you then. Thanks for watching. Take care. Bye bye.